Hello and welcome everyone. This is Yaniman bringing you another Fleet Ops audio commentary. Tonight I get the pleasure of bringing you a HalFala versus ButterBread on Tau Ceti 1.1. We have here Butters starting here as the orange Klingons against HalFala also as the Klingons but as the blue. And we are taking a look at Tau Ceti. This is a custom map. It's really beautiful, but there are some interesting aspects to it. So both of these players are getting sort of a first peek at this, and they're really having to search for it a little bit. So first impression, a tad confusing. I'm going to actually take a look up here. There are some interesting things in this general, a Prometheus class, a Cavort, and a heavy weapons platform. So an interesting setup over here, and all like heavy in this Tetryon Nebula. So not an area that you would normally want to tag. So we see these players are still in the process of... Oh, and here's actually another one. A random ship here. As well as up here there appears to be a Breen cruiser. So we can see here that HalFala is going ahead and setting up his field yard, looking for his dilithium and or other mining. Whereas in the meantime, you can see that Butters has actually just outside of sensor range, does not see this guy. So both players stumbling around in the first couple of minutes here, having to scout a whole bunch in order to even know where this at. Now granted, if the players knew where the mining was at, they would very easily be able to move towards it, but sort of as a stumbling block here, not really, no one's exactly sure what's going on. Nonetheless, at the moment, this top left-hand corner has an interesting starting position, and you get sort of this cave in all these asteroid fields. You've got a small back exit here. You got sort of another exit here and an exit over here, a much larger one opening up out into this area. We can see at the same time that HalFala has managed to scout up in here, has found Butters. Butters finishing up his first field yard and is working on a ton of scouts, moving into field research, looking perhaps to go straight into Cavorts, figuring, I guess, that this map, considering it is a 24K by 24K, which would normally see as a 2 versus 2 instead of a 1v1, figuring that the distance is going to allow him to skip that first tier unit. Now you can see this guy is a Susa, I'm sorry, a Martok Klingon, so the later game ships do have a bit of a boost as opposed to Tokroja here, which has the bonus towards her early ships. Now, HalFala is moving into Quebecs here as soon as he can find his moons. Still hasn't quite found them yet. Over here, it looks like wow, Butters has found a Breen cruiser, and this will give him an initial early start as far as getting some weapons onto the field. And this has an interesting feel to it. So as both teams still try to kind of scout out their area, you can see in the meantime that Butters has actually now found both of his, and in the same time you can see here that nestled in all of these green nebulas here that HalFala has found his, at least his first one. He doesn't realize that there's another one right over here that he may not be able to get to quite as easily. So he is going to end up setting up here. Both players hurting a bit as far as not into their mining yet. And really only this one ship out on the board to have any sort of offense. The Butters, still having not even moved these guys, could possibly use them in the process. Here is actually another Breen cruiser, and down here are some Delevals. So lots of little derelicts all over the place, and we'll see how this ends up working out. You can see here finally that Butters is going to move into his dilithium, moving something in range of it, as HalFala has got his titanium all the way up and running. Neither of these players, well, there is one offensive ship out on the board, as Butters doesn't need to do any sort of, as he has his this free Breen cruiser, allows him very easily to have at least a little bit of offense on the board. So Butters scouting back over, he found his second Tritanium moon, as these green nebulas forcing the placement of this guy a little bit further away, making it a bit harder to mine. And over here, at least having 3 Quebecs out already and a 4th one on its way. HalFala actually in a position to make an attack, as his opponent all the way up here doesn't have much in the way of defense or offense on the board, mainly because it's sort of just this exploring that's happening to happen at this point. See that